Hey kids, welcome back to Worth the Spin. Glad y'all joining me today. I'm your host, just Jack. Not dressed up in the baker's gear. We're not doing any baking today. We're going to talk about some new acquisitions that I've got. Trying to stay kind of current with what's going on. Current's a good word. Alrighty, so let's take a look at some things that I've picked up here recently. And yeah, let's do that. Okay. Number one. This is exciting for me. I didn't know they were doing this series. I found this on accident. They had two. I was burning up some trade I had left, and I only had enough to get this one. The other one's a lot more expensive because it's a 3-record set. But I want to go back and get it. So Supertramp, big Supertramp fan. So they are doing half master series on Supertramp. That is awesome. In case you don't know it, I love Supertramp. I love their music. If we're going to be doing half-speed masters on those, man, that's kick-ass. So, right now, there's only two at this in particular place that I went to. There was this, Crime of the Century. This is the front cover of it. And you can see. And they had Paris. And Paris is their live album, which is a double album. But this one is a triple album, and it says the full concert. It looks like they added another 4 or 5 songs. So, they weren't too far away from back in '78 of just doing the whole concert on that release, but whatever. So anyway, I haven't had a chance to listen to any of this stuff I haven't had a chance to listen to yet. So I'm very excited about this, and I know you're so excited, but you haven't listened to it yet. There's things going on. So I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet. I'm looking forward to it. I love, like I said, Supertramp. I love Half Speed Masters. Awesome. So if I can go back and get the Paris, I will. So this is the front cover. And it's pretty much, it's just the same as the original. There's no difference here, other than it tells you right here, it is a half-speed master and it was done at Abbey Road Studios. And this is a German pressing. And I have to say, personal opinion, I think a lot of other people have shared my opinion on that the pressings coming out of Germany are pretty much the best ones, best sounding ones in the vinyl community. And just real quick, because there's no difference in it, this is your record. This is side 1. This is side 2. It's the same label and stuff. Everything is the same as the original release. So there's nothing different here, other than the fact that it's a half-speed master. Again, haven't listened to it yet, but every half-speed master I've listened to is just awesome, so I'm looking very forward to hearing this. And if you're a Supertramp fan, I'd pick this up, because once they decide that they're done printing these, or ever how many they're going to make, half-speed masters tend to go up pretty good in value, so I would get it soon if you're interested. Alrighty, next one up we have, so I've been looking at this. I've gone to this one shop, and he's very high on this stuff. And I've been looking at this record a couple of times in there. I'm a big fan of this band, but I never pulled the trigger on it. And I finally it was payday, and he wanted $20 for it. And I was like, it's a live. I'm not a big live fan. It's on a single album. They do a live album, and it's a single album. You don't get much on there. But I do love this band, and any of their original albums I find are ridiculous priced. And I really don't want to buy the new reissue things, because they're ridiculous price, and I prefer, to me, I'd rather have the originals. They sound, to me, they sound better. So anyway, we have Great White, Recovery Live. So yeah, big Great White fan. So this is pretty awesome. And this is your back side of the cover. As you see, there's two different, this is made up for two different sets of concerts, 83 and 86. Kind of weird, but whatever. So there's really good stuff on. You got Immigrant Song, which they do a fantastic version of Led Zeppelin. Them and Black Crowes are the best imitators of Led Zeppelin music. They are, in my opinion. So, but that's me. So there's some other stuff on here. Some of it's theirs, a lot of it's not, but that's okay. And I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. It's an original pressing. Here's your original gold label. That's side A. And here's side B. And let me show you this, because I don't see these much. I don't find a lot of original pressings from the early 80s. So what they did for a while there in like 83, 84, real kind of heavy, was it seemed like every band had put an album out. Maybe it's just me. Especially the hair metal bands. They would get this crappy plastic for an inner sleeve. Wasn't the paper one, it's this plastic one. So some say the plastic's better than the paper, maybe it is. I just know that you can never get a record back in there without this all bunching up in the dang sleeve. And so I took the record out, so now it's going to be hard getting it back in again, so we'll worry about that later. But yeah, this was kind of neat that it has that in there. A lot of them are like plain, or it had just a company logo like this one does, but it didn't have all this other stuff on it. It would just be a plain thing. And this just has other bands that were out at the time. Look at this. You could order by telephone. Order records by telephone. I remember. I'm in that age group. The COD. Order them. You'd see a commercial on TV. You order the records. And they'd come and you'd pay the guy to drop them off at the door. I did that for the first 2 Motley Crue ones. They had a headband that you could get. And you only get it if you order those 2 from them. And I had them, but I wanted the headband really bad, so I did that. And I remember a guy asking for whatever amount of money it was in order to give them to me, and I paid him. And yeah, that's an old thing. That's kind of cool. So it's got some other bands on here, and Smithereens, Game of Theory, Obsession, Striper. Nobody I really care about. Alright, so, but that's kind of cool to see one of those. I haven't seen those. Even when I find original pressings of stuff these days, it doesn't seem to have that plastic bag in there. It seems to have a paper sleeve if somebody switched it out. So that's cool. Alright, this one here, I know a lot of people not a fan. I am. It is Taylor Swift. That's right. Yep. The Life of a Showgirl. Yeah. My little ticket from the midnight thing. Me and my wife set up there to do the midnight thing. And the disappointing was cool, and we enjoyed it. And the disappointing thing is you go on the Target, is very limited amount, and they put more of these out. They got rid of them all. They had 235 at my Target. We were number 7 and 8, I believe. And that's only because we were actually 4th in line, but people in front of us got 2 each. It went from a strictly 1 per person to 2 or more per person. So everybody pretty much got 2 of them. And now it's not hard to find. It's pretty much over, at least at my Target. So I was disappointed by that. I don't mind doing these kind of things, but if it's going to be a limited, this is it kind of thing, then do it that way. Don't say, yeah, that's just, that's it, 235 at this store and no more, and then go in the next day and there's another 200 or whatever sitting on the shelf and stuff. So it's not very cool. People are going to buy a ton of her records anyway, so you don't need these silly ploys that they do to get you in to buy it. So I don't see the purpose in that. But anyway, so that's that one there. It's Taylor Swift. Alrighty. Hey! Found a 45 sleeve I've been looking for all morning. Alrighty. Did some rearranging on Beatles 45s. I picked some more up. I did another trade at another shop. Not a shop that I'm really not crazy about, but they do get some stuff in. So I keep tabs on them. And this guy has, so they have a 45 room upstairs, and it is pretty massive. And it has to be, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 45s or not more easily up there. A lot of them are, some of them are good. You'll find some are the picture sleeves, have the original picture sleeves or their original sleeves, whatever, and they're in fairly good shape, and but for the most part, it's a lot of you go through the Beatles, you'll find 10, all you need is loves, and 15 bands on a run and stuff like that. So, and then the prices are kind of all over the place with this guy. He'll have 3 of the same thing, and there'll be 3 different prices. And I get that on some stuff. If you get, 2 different versions of the same album, but there's some dinged up corners or little surface scratching, that's going to be a different price than the one that's kind of more mint in the sleeve and that. So I get that. But there's stuff that's pretty close to exact condition, and the price is way off. And I don't understand a lot of things down there. So he prices a lot of his 60s and 70s stuff out of a price guide, Goldman's price guide from 77. He still uses that. And I have said something before nicely. It's a little outdated, everybody kind of uses Discogs and whatever. And he's like, this hasn't failed me over the years. This is the most consistent prices based on the market. And I don't want to sell anything for less than what it's worth. And so, to that note, he will have stuff for. So I have seen, and I got him. So I went down there and I had a bunch of stuff to trade, and it's not stuff I would get a lot for. So he doesn't give a lot, so that's why I kind of went there. And I didn't want to look through the 45s that he's got locked up. So he has a room up there. So he's got, like I said, 4, 5, 6, 7,000 45s out on the floor. You can just flip through, and everybody does, and they make a mess of it and tear the sleeves and whatever. So he has another room, and he has all these boxes of the Beatles, Elvis, other 60 bands, Rolling Stones, and stuff like that are really hard to find, locked up in this room. He doesn't advertise it. He doesn't. I don't know how he's going to sell these things. I found out because there's a guy who works upstairs sometimes, and he says he is the 45 guy, and we've had a couple of interesting conversations, I'll say that, who's supposed to put out and price all these things, yet they never put the picture sleeve ones out. And I didn't know that they had them, and I was going through the picture sleeves that they do have out, and they're like the $2, $3, $4 variety things that you see pretty much all the time. And I was going through the Beatles and stuff, and then we were talking one day, and he's like, "So you a big Beatles guy?" And I'm like, "Yeah, kind of." And, I like to thumb through here, see if anything odd or unusual pops up that I need or might be interested in. It's usually pretty much the same stuff that's in here. And he's like, "Well, he's got a bunch of Beatles sleeves over here in his closet." And I said, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, we got boxes on it, picture sleeves and, other stuff. It's not picture sleeves or foreign things and stuff." And I'm like, "Cool, can I look at him?" Like, "Oh, you got to talk to the owner. He's downstairs, and you have to ask him about it." I'm like, "Okay." So when I said, "Hey, a guy upstairs said that you got a bunch of Beatles 45s upstairs in the closet, and they're kind of locked up. And if I asked you, I could look at them." And even though there was me and maybe 2 other people in the shop, he's like, "I'm kind of busy. I just don't have time to stop and go dig stuff out." I'm like, "Okay, that's cool." He said that. I thought I'd ask why I was here. Maybe another time, I'll come down. Maybe I'll call and say, "Hey, I'm coming down. Can I book a time to look through those 45s that you got or whatever?" And he's like, yeah. I know he's getting up there, and he's getting, I think early stage is a dementia and stuff. He's getting, and his daughter works down there a lot and tries to keep things in line. So I give the guy a lot of grace. And I've talked about this shop before. This is a guy who takes the black markers, which he was doing when I walked in the door. Had a big black Sharpie just going all around this cover, and I'm like, but whatever. And so anyway, I started looking at something else and getting ready to leave, and I could sense somebody over my shoulder, and I turn and I look, and I go, "Hey, what's up, man?" He's like, "You ready?" I go, "For what?" "You wanted to look at the 45s, Beatle 45s. I'm like, yeah, I did. I didn't think you had time." "Well, I don't remember saying that." I said, "Okay." So we went upstairs and we went through, and I looked at some of them at that time, and there was a lot of really good stuff in there. And it doesn't look like, I looked through there and I picked a couple out because they were silly priced. Stuff like Ticket to Ride with the picture sleeves, like $50. And it doesn't go for that kind of money. Not that I've seen. They have other Beatle ones, and they range anywhere pretty much, if they have a picture sleeve, from 40. I'm not lying. I've seriously seen $300 picture sleeve Beatles 45s in that box. So I went in and I said, "Hey, can I look at those Beatle 45s and stuff upstairs?" And he's like, "Yeah, we can do that." So he went up there, goes, "How many you want to look at?" I go, "No, how many you got?" I said, "I pretty much got most of them. I'm just looking for like oddball things and like foreign presses and stuff like that. And I'll show you what I got." I said, "Okay." So he started digging boxes of them out. So we started going through there, and there was some good stuff in there. But then again, like I said, anywhere we're looking at $40 to $300 for 45, and that's just ridiculous. And I don't care what price guide you're looking at. I haven't seen any Beatles 45s that go for $300. But anyway, so we go through there, and I find some stuff, and a lot of it's beyond the trade amount that I had because it's just silly priced. So I picked out some things, and he had a whole slew of 90s on up McCartney 45s that I don't have, because in the 90s there's stuff going on. I wasn't really listening and buying records or CDs or 45s or anything through the whole period of the 90s and into the 2000s. Just a lot going on in my life, and I had other things to do or whatever. But so I'm like, man, these are great, and a lot of those are priced at $15, which is not bad. Some of those are high for those in particular singles, but they're mint singles with the mint sleeves, and I would do $15 a piece for them. So I started going through those, and I found some other ones. So I had this little stack going, and it was kind of getting beyond my trade means, and I really didn't want to spend $200-300 down there, because who can afford that kind of a drop? And so I went through and I found some, and there's a lot that weren't priced, and I asked, and he like made up a price all of a sudden and stuff. But I'm gonna go back and try to get some of the. I got some more trade I'm working on. I'm gonna go down and try to get some more of those 45s off of him. He's got a whole slew of German 45s, all in consecutive order. I'm thinking probably maybe half of the release of the Beatles. So I'm interested in those. He has a whole slew of McCartneys from 90s up I'm interested in. Had a couple of the John Lennons that I'm missing and some stuff like that. So it would be cool to go back down there and go through that again. So I'm hoping to do that here soon. But while I was there, I did get some stuff, and I want to show you that because it's some cool stuff. So I'll get these two out of the way. So these were in the more regular section. They're like a couple of bucks. I'm a big fan of Golden Earring. Not like a super big fan, but I'm a big fan of Golden Earring. And certain songs that are etched in my memory from when I was younger, because they came out on singles and they were a lot of airplay at the time. And I collected every single that came out at the time, and I thought they were cool. At $2 a piece, what are you going to do? So here's Golden Earring, Quiet Eyes, and this is pretty much a mint cover with a mint 45 in it. So that's it right there. So that's pretty cool to have that. I've cleaned them all. Some of them didn't look that great, so I cleaned them. They look a whole lot better. So I haven't played them on the turntable yet. Golden Earring, When the Lady Smiles. Love that song. Love that weird little video. So that's pretty cool to have. These are kind of, I have the albums and has a song. These are kind of, not much on some of these albums, but those in particular songs that are really good, or that I like. But anyway, so, and there's When the Lady Smiles. So I love that song, so that's pretty cool. So these are kind of probably going to wind up on the wall downstairs. I have some rock stuff on the wall. And I always thought one day of just getting a huge, and I might still do that, is just buy some of these really cool picture sleeve 45s and just make a collage on the wall. I think that'd be pretty cool. So I picked those up. Trying to think of the order I want to go in these. Let's go in reverse order. Alright, again, he had a whole slew of McCartneys. I got this one, My Brave Face. He gave this one to me for $10. Mint sleeve, mint record. And that would be it right there on the purple Capitol label. I'm second generation Beatles fan. I've said that before. When I started collecting Beatles albums and getting them new in the store, my little allowance I would save up, they were all on this purple. So this purple label has some significance to me. So there's those. Put those over here before they fall on the floor. And next one, now this one's cool. I've never seen this one before. I don't remember hearing about it. And I don't remember seeing it in the boxes I went through the first time. But the first time I looked at him, you can only find a couple of boxes. And he was, I kind of got bored with going through all the ones with no sleeves that were already on the floor. That was no big deal. So I kind of stopped. So this might have been a whole different box that these came out of. So this one here is a picture sleeve 45. Which they do ones of Beatles. I'm not a big fan of those. Just not. But this one was, and I got this for $6, so it was kind of hard to pass up. And it's George Harrison and Faster. And this is the flip side. And as you know, George Harrison was a fan of F1, and I forget the driver's name. One driver in particular he was a pretty big fan of and would hang out with. And the remark was made to George one day, "You're such a fan of F1 racing, when are you going to write a song about it?" A la Faster. And it's a great song, too. Still has a little, it comes in this, let me show you this. It comes in its own little protector sleeve. It's a real thick, ugly piece of plastic thingy. It has the original little hype sticker on there. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, so that was a neat little find. I'm like, wow, how much is this? He's like $6. I'm like, okay, that's pretty random. Usually I ask him about some of it, like I have to look it up, and then we go to 1977 Goldman's book. But so that was $6. That's certainly a good find. Then there was this. I have the British version of this single, but I didn't have the American one. So now I have the American version because, yes, I have to have the American and the British versions both. Yes, I do. A lot of difference? No, I know there's not, but let's not go down that road. John Lennon, Instant Karma. Again, I have the British one, so I need the American one. And the flip side is Yoko Ono, Who Has Seen the Wind. And that's all we'll comment on that right there. Alrighty. It's an okay song. When Yoko actually tries to sing, I think she does a fantastic job. When she does this avant-garde or this moaning or whatever she does, it's just not for me. So this is the 45 itself, and it's nice and minty. It looked a little rough when I got it out of the box, like a lot of this stuff does. But I brought it home, put it through my Studebaker there, and my manual turn it by hand cleaner. I can't wait to do some of these Beatles ones and a sonic cleaner when I can get one. Really is going to improve the sound quality. But I haven't listened, like I said, I haven't listened to these yet, but they look really good, especially since I cleaned them, so I think they'll be good. So that was a cool find. So that puts me down to missing, I think 2 original John Lennon singles, and they're really, really hard to find, and when I do, they're very expensive. That's Mother and Cold Turkey. So I need those. Let's go with this. Let's go with this one. So this one I own, and this is one of the ones that he had multiples of, but he had different prices on. So this is the first EP of the Beatles, 4 by the Beatles. And I've shown you this before. I picked one up not too long ago, and it cost me a lot more than this one did, which was, this was $20. But he had another one that was marked $300, and on the side it said sells for $400 to $500. And I'm thinking, I've not seen this go for $300. So it's kind of weird. Anyway, I've shown this before because I picked it up before. This is still, it's a mint, pretty much mint. That's the back side. You know, they're the same. The only thing is on this one, you have a rip seam right there and right there, which is a bummer. But other than that, this is a mint. To me, it's a mint sleeve. So that's pretty cool. And the reason I got it, I know that, well, you already got it. I do have it. But the reason that I got it, if I get it back in there, I'll tell you. I kind of watch certain ones. I put them up right away. Otherwise, they're always going to be the ones that get damaged. And I'm like, oh, I knew I should have put that up. So this one, this is a label variation. This is a Scranton pressing. I forget what my other one is. But this is a Scranton pressing. So this one has the bluish opaque, I guess, colored label. Side A, side B. The other one I have, if you remember, is a green labeled one. They're both first pressings. This is from the Scranton plant. So it has this blue label to it. And it also, if you look where it says capital here on the side, it doesn't say records underneath it, whereas my green one says records underneath it. So, yeah, so this was like $20-25, and the other one was $300. And both of them were pretty much the same, I think. The other one might have been the green labeled one. Either way, neither one of these I've seen sell or list for $300. But yeah, so, and that was a pretty far off, and I'm looking at both of them, and I wanted to say why, you know, I couldn't find any differences other than the color of the label. And I wanted to say, why is this so much and this isn't? But I don't want this getting marked up to $300. So I just shut my mouth and bought it. It's cool. Different label variations, things. That's cool. It's a very hard one to find. So, you know, down the road, I could use one for trade too. Sometimes I'll get multiples of really rare records I stumble across, and then I use them later on for trade. All right. This one's cool because I have a few Beatles picture sleeves missing. And over the years, I've not been able to locate them. And when I have, they've been stupid money. Not stupid money, you know, $50, $60, $80, $100, but in the to me $30, $40 range. So some of these do go for like $40, but the ones that he had, I know I've seen before in the $25 range. So I don't know. Whatever. Anyhow, so I found this one, which is the Ballad of John and Yoko, and I need that. So that's pretty awesome. And the thing about this is it's pretty good shape given its age. It's white, and white is not going to stay white with age. Just the way it is. And these are photos from the Mad Day Out sessions, which was my favorite Beatles photo session. So anything that has them on there is pretty cool to me. It's wrinkled up a little bit, but we got some tape. Excuse me. From, looks like probably the day because the tape is yellowed up. So I got that. And Ballad of John and Yoko. And the flip side is Old Brown Shoe. Now, I love these photos and this sleeve, but I have to admit, Yoko should not be. I could kind of see John having Yoko on the front cover because the A side was the Ballad of John and Yoko, but Old Brown Shoe was a Harrison compilation, and there's no need for her to be on that photo. So you can oversee and understand the other Beatles. Yoko had to be in everything, be everywhere all the time, so you could understand how the other Beatles were kind of like, she's really intruding and she's really kind of breaking us up. So, but anyway, that's nice to have that. So it's really cool. And the record, if I showed it, which I probably did not, is pretty much mint. Again, this had, some dirt and fingerprints and stuff, and I put it through the record cleaner and cleaned it up, and it looks a whole lot better. I still need to listen to it. The last one I got, and this is cool, is Penny Lane Strawberry Fields. Not an easy one to find. Again, he had two of these, I think three. One did not have a record in it. One had a rip in it. One was this one, which is not 100% mint, but it's in pretty good condition. Again, given its age. It's yellowed up some. It's got a little folding going on there. But again, this is not something you walk into. I don't walk into a record store and just find. So that's pretty cool to find that. So I'm happy with that. I think Beatle picture sleeves, I'm missing just the two now. So that's cool. This is the record. And I'll show you the flip side, Strawberry Fields first. By the way, thanks JK for writing on my 45. And Penny Lane. And this is a second pressing. And for you who don't know, who would like to know, the way you can tell is the second pressings, if you look at the runtime, is 2:57. And if you look at the runtime on the first pressings, they say 3 minutes. So that's the difference in the first and second pressing. On this in particular single is the runtime of Penny Lane. 2:57, second pressing, second run. 3 is a first. So still, this is a lovely piece to have in my collection, and it helps fill out my Beatles picture sleeve section. Put it to you that way. Not two more, and I'm done. All right. So that's what I got. That's my update on records I picked up in the past couple weeks. Friday we had the Target release of Abbey Road with the green vinyl, so I'll be picking that up. It's Target exclusive, so I'll be picking that up. And then that's nothing super special. Abbey Road was on green vinyl in Japan, I think 73, 74, so this is kind of a repressing of that in a way, but it does have the 2019 digital pressing on the vinyl. So, it was green vinyl originally in like 73, 74 in Japan. And it's got the remastered 2019 pressing of the music on it. So, I'll buy it because it is cool. Abbey Road on Apple label, green vinyl. That's cool. Target exclusive. So, it always pays to get exclusives, because down the road a lot of them do go up, and if you don't really want them, they make good trade. And you always fare out better in trades than you do cash, by the way. So anything that I do go to get rid of, I usually will trade and not sell, because I'm getting more for it, and that shop's probably got something that I want. So, alrighty, so that's what I got for you this time. This video is late. Sorry about that. I forgot to set my, you know why this is late? Because I didn't subscribe to my own channel. Had I subscribed to my own channel, I would have got a notification that this video was up, which you who subscribe will be getting a notification of that. I am now subscribed, so I won't miss that. And if I not missed my past video because I didn't subscribe to it, I would have known this video was late and made it sooner. That's why subscribing is so important. Plus, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like people are enjoying these videos. And I'm not just sitting in a room talking to myself. So, if you like this video, give it a like. Fancy graphics going on there. Subscribe. And it's totally up to you. You're going to subscribe. Cool. If you don't, that's cool too. If you do, you'll know when I have new content up. If you like it or not, you'll know when it's up. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Hopefully you have enjoyed past videos. If not, check them out. Hopefully you will enjoy any videos going forward. So I try to make interesting content on here. Something that somebody would enjoy listening to for a few minutes, or 31 minutes at this point, which I try not to go past 24, but today went a little long. But that's okay. I haven't been on for a while, so that kind of makes up for missing for a while. Anyway, please subscribe. Please like. Tell your friends and family, hey, this guy's not too bad. He knows a little bit. Kind of enjoying video. Check him out. Other than that, that's what I got for you. Be kind to everyone going forward. Sprinkle a little love out there. Do one good deed for one person today, because there's not enough good deeds being done out there. And I'll tell you a good one you could do that's not going to cost you any money, and it's not that hard. Open the door for the next person. A couple of times this week I've stopped at a gas station down the road to get a soda and been this far from the door, and they just let it close. That's cool. Didn't get mad, didn't get upset. Just made sure I held it for the next person, even though they were a whole lot further away than that. So, do a kind act for somebody today or this week, just one, and let's see if we can't turn this world around from all this hate and hostility to a little bit more in love and tolerance. So, thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry I went a little bit long this time, but I had to catch up from not being on for a while. And I am going to look at store today, but I've got an in particular album in mind, so I probably won't have a lot of time to do too much looking there, but we'll see what I get. Other than that, I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Take care, and